Let's go to Bow Wow, man. Why not?
He put out a freestyle called Boward Woward. What do you think about that title?
I don't know what the hell it's supposed to mean. I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't know what it means either, and that's fine. I thought it was funny. Maybe that's him being internet Bow Wow, right? Like maybe that's him knowing that Boward Woward is gonna make people go, huh? So I clicked it reluctantly, but I clicked it, and maybe you'll describe it better because you're just better at this than I am. But he he basically runs down his rap resume
Yep.
in freestyle, like from the time he was a child to now. Which we know he was a child star. He started when he was very
Oh
young.
yeah, that makes me think about something from that lyric. Go ahead.
But yeah, so he's kind of running down his resume. He's letting y'all know that he's not new to this. He's true to this. Um, I don't know if this is maybe his way of like trying to feel things out and see if he should put out more music. I wish he would have just put out like an EP or something that didn't include this freestyle and just like make regular songs. And I think we would have been fine with that. I think Bow Wow is very talented, but I think his ego gets in his way.
So Bow Wow's last project was a joint project with Soldier Boy in 2016.
Is that the last one?
Yeah. Everything else after that says instrumentals.
Really?
So that's his last one.
Huh.
Ignorant Shit came out on October 25th, 2016, according to Spotify. And yeah, it's been quiet since. Oh, wait. I see. I didn't look at singles and EPs. Hold on. Okay, he was featured on John Bosco's record in 2023. No clue who that is. Okay, more instrumentals. Okay, he dropped a song called My Pain in February of 2021.
Okay.
And in November of 2020, a couple months before that, he dropped Rari's and Porsches, a song.
Mhm.
A month before that, he put out a song called Met on Collins, DM.
Okay, so I guess the point is here he's been putting out Lucy's for the last several years. He's not actually put out like a full project or like a full EP. It's just
Right.
been kind of one offs that he's been putting out.
Yeah.
I wish he would put out a project. Bow Wow is talented. I saw your brow go up. I think
I
Bow Wow.
just said a word. I'm looking at the music here.
I think Bow Wow is talented. I think Bow Wow is correct. He started out really young, and he had to, get in there and learn the ropes and grow up in the hip hop industry. So that's challenging, I would think, for someone who was his age, because you see a lot of young people in hip hop, but he was young, like the youngest. So I totally understand that transition into like being an adult rapper may be a little bit wonky, but I feel like okay, you on this freestyle like talking your shit and that's fine, but then maybe just put out a project. Even if it's just a few songs. Go for it at this point. I feel like why not? Is it? I don't know. I'm wondering. Is it like a behind the scene? Is it like he? I don't know if I assume he's independent at this point. I don't know if he's signed to a record label or anything like that. But just put out something that's not this. And I would give it a listen. I mean, I wasn't the biggest Bow Wow fan. What do you call them? Girl records? Love the girl records. The things he did with like
Hey,
Sammy
hey,
and
hold
Chris
on.
Brown,
I
and
don't call them girl records.
you do
That's what the
all the time
industry calls them.
on this pod. Well, that's how you
Because
refer to them on this pod. So
that's what the industry calls them. I never really understood. I always thought they were love records or heartbreak records, but they widely are called girl records.
I don't
So
like that they're
that's,
called girl records because boys like them too. But but if that's how we're describing them, then yeah, I love all of the Shorty Like Mine, all of those things that he did. I don't remember if Shorty Like Mine was his or Sammy's, but all those things that he did back then with all of the singers that were coming up at the same time, I loved all of that. I loved how, to me that was us growing up. That's a part of the soundtrack to our lives. But today's not that day. Also, he should team up with like some cool R&B folks. I think that would be good because I also feel like I feel like I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but I feel like Bow Wow has been trying to establish himself as like this, not hardcore, but just this. I think he's tried to get away from that persona, and I don't know that works. I like Bow Wow, with the R&B singers. I like those types of records.
they're palatable. They're good. We
They're
like them.
good. Yeah. And I think it's okay to go, today you're at your big age of 30 something and go make one of those records. But make one that is age appropriate. You don't need to make one talking about puppy love. Now make one about real love.
Real love.
Why you stop singing?
That's all I got. Listen, Bow Wow is 37 years old, just like me. Bow Wow, I don't know why you felt like you needed to make a song about everything you did in your career. Maybe because you wanted to connect with the kids and you wanted them to put some respect on your name. I don't know, but I got a couple issues. Number one, people keep calling things freestyles that clearly are not a freestyle. That's an industry thing. Number two, my man had a beat break slash hook and gonna call it a freestyle. Come on, son.
There's also a whole video.
I don't got a problem with you having a video for your freestyle. But it didn't even look like a freestyle. It looked like this real polished
Right, but that's my
music video.
point.
But,
That's
but
that's
I'm saying if you're gonna do a freestyle video, let me see you in the studio with the mic or something. Like
yes.
this
That's
looked
what I
like I'm
mean.
trying to flex on niggas just like the song, which is a song, not a freestyle. So let's just call it what it really is.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Also,
staging going on in this video, and a lot of production with the
that's what I'm
numbers on
saying.
the
Like,
screen.
yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah.
And he says some things that I'm a little confused about. That's why I was looking stuff up. He said he did a lot of stuff before 30. And he never said anything after 30. But he's 37. And I was a little confused. Like, is Bow Wow 30? I'm really confused. He's 37. So that was confusing. Then he brought up his movies.
He did bring up his movies. Yeah,
I don't think that was a smart decision.
you didn't like Mike.
I didn't watch Like Mike. The thing with
You've
Bow Wow
never seen
is,
Like Mike?
I said I didn't like.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't see it. Sorry.
Oh, actually, I don't think I saw Like Mike. The problem with Bow Wow was his branding was always young,
Yeah,
even though he's our age. So even as a teenager, I was like, oh, that little guy Bow Wow. Oh yeah, Bow Wow's young. And no, he's our age. Like,
yeah. He's always been. We've
yeah,
always
so then
been.
he was like in kids movies when we were, 18, 19, 20. Like I
No,
didn't
no. They were earlier. You're just not remembering it correctly.
hold on.
You're just not remembering it correctly.
Okay, please hold.
Because I don't think he was in movies when we were 18. And if he
Okay,
was, then it would have been the older movies. But
don't worry. I'm almost there.
you also have to remember, Bow Wow started really, really young. So what may seem like we were that much older, we weren't. It's just that he was so young when he started. He was like 7 or 6.
Like Mike was 2002. We were 15.
Oh, really? I stand corrected. I am so sorry. We were 15 when Like Mike came out?
2002. Johnson Family Vacation was 2004.
I don't even remember Johnson's Family Vacation, to be honest.
Roll Bounce was 2005.
Oh, well, I
The
stand
Fast,
corrected.
The
I
Fast and the
swore.
Furious. He was in the video game apparently. That
Oh,
was 2006. He was on an episode of Smallville in 2006.
interesting. I did not know that.
He was on the show Ugly Betty in 2008
I don't
as Bow
remember
Wow.
that, even though I've seen every episode of Ugly Betty.
He played himself. He played Bow Wow.
I believe
He was
that.
in 5
In real life.
episodes of
Yeah.
Entourage.
I remember him being on Entourage. I did not watch it, but I remember him being on Entourage. No, I mean,
My
you're
point
right.
is,
You're right.
um,
I,
I,
I was wrong.
that's fine. I'm just saying, like, it always was like a younger thing. So,
Yeah, no, you're right.
although Bow Wow made good music, we all bumped his music. Sure, no disputing that. But the movies, like, I don't know if cats was checking for Bow Wow's movies like that. Like,
I no. I mean, I know. Like, I just feel like Mike was so popular when it
oh,
came
Like
out.
Mike was a huge hit for the kids. Huge hit. Even years later, I was teaching kids and they're like, "Hey, can we watch Like Mike?" I used to watch it with my older sibling. It's like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I'm not hating on that, but
It's just so hard
he
to
made it
believe I
sound
was
like he had a
15 when that movie
career
came
that
out.
was like a legit movie career. And like, I don't know if I'd have brought that one up. But
Well,
also,
he's
like,
also been. Sorry, go ahead.
just want to say, like, also, I wanna talk big shit. Bow Wow, go get T Pain, go get Jagged Edge, and do what you do. Like, we know you know what works. You have a long resume of hits with R&B singers. Go make friends with Jermaine Dupri again. Go get in the lab with the R&B singers. And then, like, we didn't need to know Sierra lived in your house. Like, that's very clout chasing because Sierra's hot in the streets and you're not.
Yeah, he'd been doing that for years, but that's always been my problem with Bow Wow.
And my
Because
last
I've
problem.
actually
Oh,
met
I'm
him,
sorry.
but that's always been my problem with him is that he's always like had this arrogance about him. He's tried to ride on the fact that he has been around for so long. He's tried to ride on that, and at some point you no longer can you no longer
But
can
but
ride
but
on
we
those
haven't been
things.
bumping Bow Wow for a long
But
time.
that's my point.
No,
But
I know. I'm with you.
even when like, and that's what I'm saying, he's always had this air of arrogance about him, like, oh, I've been in the game, like, and I guess maybe because he was younger than everybody else, we don't automatically think of him as an OG. I do i do think he's owed a lot of respect for having had his career when he did, and having had such a long run when he did. But today, I just feel like he can't ride on that. But I think it's his ego. And I say that because I have encountered this man in real life. And he has a very strong ego. He is someone who will like have the girls around him. He don't want anybody to come close to him. He's very like he's that guy. So this to me was very on par with his personality. He is very caught up in making sure y'all know that he has clout. And
Yeah, but like,
clout is not cool when you've been around since the beginning. It doesn't matter to us. That doesn't matter to us.
nah.
You're not
And the other
young.
thing is, like, I'm looking at his discography, just going back. I think the Price of Fame was the last Bow Wow project we really messed with. That's the one with Out of My System on it.
Oh, that was a good one. Can't wait to get you out of my system.
Right. That was 2006.
Yeah, I mean,
After that, after that, he did a collab project with Omarion. It's not his album. It's a collab. Then he did something called New Jack City 2 in 2009. I don't know any of these songs, even though he's got the right people on him. He's got Swiss Beats, Trey Songz, John to Austin, More Than Once, T Pain, T.I., Jermaine Dupri. I don't know this album. Do you know this album?
I don't know that album, but that's
And then
kind of
after
what,
that, we don't get anything until the project with Soldier Boy.
which I think is fine because then he started his movie slash hosting career. It makes sense to me that there's no music after that. He was host of 106 in Park for several years.
Listen,
He was doing movies as we described. Um so to me, like, he's not singular in things he's done or what he's accomplished. It wasn't just music. It never was just music. So it makes sense that after the music for was going for a while, he took a break or whatever it was to pursue other things. He pursued acting, he pursued hosting. He was very hot in the streets still after these albums came out. And years later, he was out there. Um I just said, listen, I encountered him in real life when he was still very popular, but he wasn't making music. He was doing other things, which I think is great. And
yeah,
I don't think anybody is upset at Bow Wow's career, or I don't think anybody has a
yeah, he had a
problem with this.
spectacular career.
Right. But I think he feels, and I think this is because he was the youngest one, I think he feels forgotten sometimes. And I think he works overtime to try to remind us that he was very much a part of that era of hip hop. And I get it. He doesn't
Okay,
get
I can understand
considered
that.
when he doesn't get considered when there's like conversations about lists or anything like that. I'm not
Which he
saying he
mentioned. He mentioned that, and
right, and
and he's upset about that.
I'm sure he is. Um
Well, he
and I'm
seems
and
upset
I'm not
himself.
I'm not saying that he should or should not be. I haven't really pondered whether he should or should not be, but that in itself says that we do kind of forget about him because he did have such a big career. If people could put some of their other faves on those lists, then he he should at least be considered because he was around during this big stretch of time. So
No,
okay,
I vote no.
I don't think he's an I don't know how to I
Say
don't
it,
know
because that's the answer right there. Say it. You
I
don't
don't know
think
how
he's
to
a what?
I don't know how to just describe like what I'm trying to say. I'm just
Bow Wow is not looked at as an MC. That's why you can't be on any of the lists. The same reason why people question many other people when it comes to these lists. If
right,
they're
but
the
they're on
list,
it. But that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying I think he should be.
but
I
anybody on those lists are MCs of some sort, whether we love them or hate them. The people on those lists, the same 10 or 12 people that get mentioned all the time, it's
I'm
not
not
because of longevity, it's
but
because
I'm
of impact, lyrical skills.
but I'm not just talking about rapper lists. I'm just talking about musicians, artists, Billboard artists. When we talk about different
Oh,
people
okay.
in history, Bow Wow's name doesn't come up. It's like
Okay.
everybody
I
forgot
understand what
he
you're saying.
had a long career, and there are plenty of people who are around around his era who are not really making music now that get considered for those things. I'm not saying I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but what I'm saying is it's a fact. He is not a part of it. And the fact that he's not a part of it, I understand as an artist who feels like he had this robust career with
But did he?
music.
That's my question. Did he have a robust career
I think
in
he was
music?
I think he was a child, and so I
Did
don't
he
think
have
we
a
look at
robust
his
career?
music. I don't think we look at his music the same. I think we look at his music as, oh, that was the kid rapper who like everybody loved. I don't think we look at him as I don't think we take him seriously. And I think that's what he's trying to say. And that's my point. I don't think we take him seriously. I don't think he feels that he's being taken seriously. And the problem is, in my opinion, the reason why we don't take him seriously is because Bow Wow did not transition well out of being a child rapper into being an adult rapper.
Because
I
no
think
one was writing for him anymore.
Jermaine Dupri was trying to work with him though, but
I
he
know.
wanted to do because I remember when he was doing grown up hip hop, and they would, and I don't know how much, of course some of it's a reality show, so I'm sure some of it was staged, but there were a lot of these encounters between him, the Brat, and Jermaine Dupri, who he was very close to, where it seemed like Bow Wow kind of wanted to do his own thing when it came to the music, and they were trying to like get him back in the studio, get him back to work. And he was just kind of like, no, because y'all don't want to make the music I want to make. I mean, maybe then he needed to go and find people who would make the music he wanted to make. But I think that his music career kind of just became stagnant. It kind of just, you know, it wasn't a good transition. So how are we now supposed to consider? We can't consider just the child rapper. We have to now consider what happened after that. And there's not much that happened after that.
Okay. Bow Wow has albums. So do you want to count the Omarion joint project? I don't think we should. So we're not counting the Soldier Boy joint project. Correct? Okay. So Bow Wow had music out from 2000 to 2009.
Keep
It's
going. I'm listening.
2020. It's 2024. And none of us knew the project from '09. So before that was 2006. It's only 6 years. How, like, I don't understand what we're supposed to do here. Like, and the music from 2000, it's two songs. Oh no, there's an album. It's looked that weird. Okay, yeah. So the first album was 2000. And then after that, 2006 is the last album we know. Is that an illustrious career? Question mark.
I'm not saying it was.
But
I'm
you
just
just
saying.
said it's a fact that he had a big career. Like,
Did he not have a big career?
but
I guess I'm not understand. I guess I'm confused about what we're debating here.
let's let me
I'm
just say this. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not saying that I think he just deserves to be on a top 25 rappers of all time list. What I'm saying is, thinking about it now, every time there is some sort of list, not a rapper list, not a hip hop list, but just any list in general, people don't really bring up any of his songs. They don't bring him up. I think that's a fact. I don't I don't think that's I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. So, but so to his point, sure, that is true. But what I'm also trying to say is, after a certain point, he didn't do anything, or he
Right,
did very little.
right.
So I'm arguing against him, and I'm saying, well, Bow Wow, what do you expect? What do
Okay.
you want? What do you want from us? because now you're putting out a freestyle where you're letting us know how long your career was and everything that you did. You're giving us your resume, but to your point, what have you done lately or in the last, I don't know, decade?
Well, that's my thing is I don't know how. Two things. One, yes, Bow Wow has lots of hit records. Absolutely. But they weren't written by Bow Wow, including Out of My System, which I'm looking at right now. And it says written by Jaron Austin, which is Jonta Austin, Jermaine Dupri, and Rick James. That's the last hit we know.
Right. I
So
agree.
my
But
thing is, you got this thing talking up, not you, but Bow Wow got this song talking about I'm the man, I've done all this shit. The niggas was writing for you the whole time, and you ain't dropped nothing since '88, nigga.
but
It's
that's
an
why I keep saying,
exaggeration, obviously.
but that's why I keep saying I think his ego gets in his way. That was my whole point here. I
Well,
think
it
his
sounds like you
ego
was
gets.
arguing for him.
No, what I'm saying is I understand. I get it. Like I think that I could understand where he's coming from, but I could also offer up why this is the way it is. I understand you feel like you haven't been considered. Yes, that is true. You have not been considered. But
I
why
feel
is
like
it that
there's legit reasons why. Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Why is it that you're not being considered? I get it. I get the frustration. I get that you feel like I did all this stuff and y'all don't give a damn. And I think he's right. I don't really think anybody cares today. But ask yourself why. You're not, and that's why I started when we started talking about the freestyle. Put out a project, even if it's an EP. Give
I
us
feel like
something.
fuck a project. Put out a good single.
Even
A
that.
good single. A good single will give him time and an alley oop to go. Okay, I heard that. Now I want to hear more.
But if he is going to get caught up, and it's gonna have to be really good because if he is going to get caught up in I don't want to be the person that y'all knew me as before, well then you got to give us something that's really gonna wow us,
No
and
pun
that's
intended.
challenging to do.
No pun
So
intended.
like I don't know
Yeah, I don't think this was a good comeback record.
no.
Um, and I
Six
honestly, I don't
catch you
need Bow
back
Wow.
10 years.
I was gonna say I don't need Bow Wow to come back. Like, when especially without Jermaine Dupri, Brian Michael Cox, and Jonta Austin. Go get with them and the Brat because she wrote one of his hit singles, by the way.